First of all, I would like to start with saying in Arabic, Assalamu alaikum. Some can speak some Arabic, which means Annyeonghaseyo or hello. I would like to thank you all for your time, and I hope I can give you some useful information about what's going on, what happened in Egypt and what's still going on until now. And also I would like to listen any questions about the Middle East. I will try as I can, because I would like you to understand my major literature. And I try all the time to see the world as some kind of poem. Sometimes it's like epic, sometimes it's romantic poem, sometimes it depends on the situation. So I will try to introduce, to give some information from my point of view, the way I look to the world, which means sometimes I'm right about that, or maybe I might be wrong. So I'm not presenting some kind of official culture, I'm presenting myself and just my ideas. It's so long even to choose the picture as a cover, because for me, Egypt, for the rest of the people in the world, Egypt is camel and pyramids. But for me, all the time, people is young man and young girl. It's people, because those people who made us feel as the first time ever, it's a great country. It was not by the pyramids or the camel or the nice atmosphere or weather over there. I was proud all the time to be Egyptian, but I didn't feel what does it mean until 2 months ago. And I named from the Republic of Mubarak to the Republic of Tahrir. Tahrir is a famous square in downtown Cairo, where the people stayed there for almost 18 days until Mubarak stepped down. It's fast. Of course, I wish I would have been there at the time, but I was here in Korea, and I tried to do something to support Egyptian people over there. So I managed with my friends to protest in front of the embassy in Seoul, and it was a good message from Egyptian people abroad to support Egyptian people inside at the time. It was so strange when some foreign prime ministers started to talk about the Egyptian revolution. The Italian prime minister, he said, it's not new. Egyptian people always has a great experience with revolutions. When he said that, I didn't understand very well, and I went back to read. Maybe he meant something, and I found out, as the history books said, the first revolution ever took place in Egypt, more than almost 5,000 years ago. It was during the king whose name was Kiti, and almost the same atmosphere. The lack of justice, the very big, huge gap between poor and rich, and the corruption among the religious people, and also the ministers, and including the king himself and the princes. People were starving to live, and nothing left for them. People were eating grass and just living with water. Then the atmosphere or the circumstances lead to the huge revolution. People killed ministers, killed the religious people, burned everything in the region, and also the Egypt left for almost 6 years with no government. This is the picture from Tahrir Square during the revolution. People started to attack each other. The people who supported Mubarak against the demonstrators. It was also the same atmosphere when I read about the first revolution ever in the history. For me, it doesn't look different. Accidentally, he became hero. I think he was not. Some people say Sadat chose him as a vice president because he believed he was not smart. Because Sadat also was planning to stay forever, and he chose Mubarak for that reason. And I'm sure Mubarak never had a dream to be the next president after Sadat, but accidentally he became. And now some people are talking about conspiracy, some kind of dirty plan, and Mubarak was involved for the assassination of Sadat. And some people say we will release some documents about that with pictures and important formal information, and we are waiting for that. His way of ruling the country, foreign policy or interior policy, was based on division all the time. I think he was seeing the whole world through just two parts, not 3 or 4 or more, black and white all the time. For foreign policy, it was America and Israel. For him, especially in the last decade in his presidency period, it was the first place or coming before even the benefits of Egypt or Egyptian people, because he did everything he could just to transfer the presidency chair to his son, and America was also supporting that kind of step for the sake of secure Israel in the region, believing that Egypt is the most important and the biggest country among the Arab nations. We can see his policy dealing with some important events that happened in the last 2 decades during the Gulf War, 1991, and the war in Iraq, 2003, and also the Israeli war against Lebanon, 2006, and also the Israeli attack against Gaza, 2009, and also the last thing is selling Egyptian gas to Israel. When America started to discuss about the military alliance to go to push Saddam Hussein to leave Kuwait immediately, Mubarak was happy with that step because he knew very well he would be rewarded. And the Egyptian army lost a lot of soldiers because the huge step or the plan depended on the military, the Egyptian military soldiers, because we know very well how to move in the desert. I remember the time I read in the newspapers so many American soldiers were almost dead in the desert because we cannot move very well in the sand, and it's so hot over there, and they carry a very heavy bag. But the Egyptian soldiers did that very well because they know the area and they live there almost very similar atmosphere. So the United Nations and the American Army, they depended very well on the Egyptian army at the time, and he got rewarded. But we have never seen that such money where it went.